even at home, when I look at mom, who's 91 now, and I see the excitement on her face. अच्छा तुम शाहरुख के साथ काम कर रहे हो?
अच्छा।
So everybody loves Shah Rukh so much. He's a man of love. So there's been general huge amount of excitement to even work with him. And for me, the journey was exciting. You
Yeah.
know, just the thought that okay, we're going to work together, and then the whole shoot together, the amount of love he pours for everyone. So that was very exciting to see the way he works. As an actor, तो बहुत जल्दी जैसी shoot हुई पता लग गया कि okay, the amount of work he puts in. But in this one and a half year, I've discovered him as a person,
Right.
and I figured out he's such a great human being, and it's very important for him that nobody is troubled, nobody is disturbed, and even if he has to put a point across, he'll do it so nicely, so softly, and leave the decision to you. So he had always told me, he says, don't expect those kind of numbers initially. This is a slow burner, and eventually families will start coming. Families will be ready. He was actually preparing me for it more than anything.
Right.
And that's exactly what is happening. It started now. Families have started coming, and families are watching.
Right.
So every film is different, and there's a different audience for it.
Right.
He's a very intelligent man, and I don't think he worried कि अब मैं action कर रहा हूँ तो continuously action ही करता जाऊँ और इसको बाद में करें. He never worried about that at all.
Raju sir, welcome to News 18 Showsha.
Thank you, Sonil. Good to be here.
First of all, congratulations. Dunki is doing what it should be. The audience is loving it, and the love is pouring in for you and for the entire team. How's the feeling? I mean, I just want to start off with that whole that the elephant has gone now. Are you now pretty relaxed?
Yeah, every film, finally, when it releases, your basic anxiety is about, how people are going to like it, how people are going to take it. So one is more curious to see the lovability for the film.
Sure.
So the biggest pressure is over. It's over now. Last few months before the release are very, very hectic.
Yeah.
So you almost become numb to the world around you. And so at least that is over. And suddenly I'm sitting at home and wondering, okay, now what is to be done? So it's a whole vacuum which gets created after such amount of hectic work.
Correct.
So now I'm figuring out. And yes, a lot of affection is pouring up that, चलो आपने, अरे इस जमाने में जब ऐसी फिल्में बन रही है, आपने एक बड़ी कंटेंट ड्रिवन अलग फिल्म बनाई, brave to make a film like this.
Yeah.
Praising Shah Rukh for, doing something which he used to do long back in his career, the kind of films he did with Aziz, and so all those kind of reactions are coming. So I'm obviously enjoying all those reactions, and now slowly I want to bite my teeth into the next script.
Yeah, it's been 20 years. 19 December 2003 is when Munna Bhai MBBS had released. And what's interesting is, apart from the fact that people know that was the script that you'd taken it to Shah Rukh, the end credits also acknowledges him, that there's a small acknowledgement from your side for the script inputs.
Correct.
How from just getting an acknowledgement and then coming to Dunki starring Shah Rukh Khan, if you can just like kind of take us through that journey, like briefly, in from a end credit to starring Shah Rukh Khan. Is it like a dream fulfilled for you personally?
Absolutely. In a way, who doesn't want to work with Shah Rukh? I think every filmmaker's dream is that someday they want to work with Shah Rukh. And it took me 20 years before I could work with him. And, even at home, when I look at mom, who's 91 now, and I see the excitement on her face. अच्छा तुम शाहरुख के साथ काम कर रहे हो? So everybody loves Shah Rukh so much. He's a man of love. So there's been general huge amount of excitement to even work with him. And for me, the journey was exciting. Just the thought that okay, we're going to work together, and then the whole shoot together, the amount of love he pours for everyone. So that was very exciting to see the way he works. My belief was, not my belief, what one was to hear in the industry, he's an impromptu actor. He'll just come and do it on the sets. There won't be any prep. all that got changed when I worked with him. I
Okay.
saw him, the amount of effort he used to put in the prep. He would shoot his videos of every scene a day in advance and send it to me. So my whole phone is full of videos from Shah Rukh. कि मैं ऐसे करूंगा, ये ऐसे करूंगा.
Yeah.
So, so you discover the man, you discover
Right.
his process of working, and you discover a person more as a human being.
Hmm.
So, as an actor, तो बहुत जल्दी जैसी shoot हुई पता लग गया कि okay, the amount of work he puts in. But in this one and a half year, I've discovered him as a person,
Right.
and I figured out he's such a great human being, and it's very important for him that nobody is troubled, nobody is disturbed, and even if he has to put a point across, he'll do it so nicely, so softly, and leave the decision to you. So it's been a great journey, because to me the process of making the film is important more than
Yeah.
the result. You have to enjoy that journey. If you don't enjoy that journey, then what is the point? Because you're like a family for that one
Agreed.
and a half year when you're making it.
Right.
So the journey with him has been absolutely fabulous.
Right. What I want to ask you is that we all know the stardom that Shah Rukh carries with himself. Uh, Even if you give him a simple role, the stardom always supersedes the man himself. Uh, when you were making Dunki, and this whole role of Hardy, uh, what was it like to deconstruct the stardom of Shah Rukh Khan and just making him the boy next door, or someone who's just like who we may meet on the road probably every day, like someone who doesn't know English, or he speaks broken English, who's head over heels over a girl who just met him.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I had spoken to, a few years back, I'd spoken to Imtiaz Ali sir, and he also was saying to deconstruct Shah Rukh Khan and the stardom around it is
Hmm.
the most difficult part. Was it for you also?
Uh, actually, if you look at Shah Rukh's filmography, uh, he's done all kinds of films.
Hmm.
So you see him doing such an action film like Pathan, Jawan.
Yeah.
At the same time, you would see him uh, earlier in his career do films, the kind of films he did with Aziz,
Yeah.
Yes Boss, or even Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na with Kundan Shah.
Yeah.
He's even done a film with Ketan, Maya, and so he's done all kinds of films. Or even if you look at Dilwale, it's such a sweet romantic story. So then what happens when you become a star? I think it's more a perception of that person which uh, people carry, that,
Hmm.
oh, he's such a star and he has to be projected in a particular way.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel every actor is an actor. They have the capacity and the capability to perform uh, roles even where they're not,
Yeah.
projected
Expected to, or yeah.
larger than life in
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that excites an actor also, that, okay, here I'm an actor, and I don't necessarily need to be in a scene where I'm being projected, in those slow motion shots. And so he took it like this, as he says, it's a film with ensemble cast, so many people, and this is the role for me in the film where I'm a facilitator for all these people to take them to London.
Hmm.
And he took that completely in his stride. And fortunately, uh, uh, I think that must have been a challenge more for him than for me,
Okay.
because I didn't make any effort to say, okay, because I have Shah Rukh, let me project him
Hmm.
differently. I didn't do that. Uh, but because he's possibly done those kind of films now, it
Yeah.
must have been a more challenging thing for him to cut that down and be as real as possible in the film. So I think with every great actor, I don't think that's a challenge for the director. It's more a challenge for the actor if you've done some kind of a thing. But Shah Rukh is a great actor. He's done all kinds of film if you look at his work.
Yeah.
Even he does a Swades, he does a Chak De. So it's not that those were larger than life heroes.
Right.
So I don't think I faced that kind of challenge in deconstructing him in
Sure.
any way.
Right. But was there ever a discussion with him to kind of related to the release of the film? Considering, we had a Pathan, we had a Jawan, and in a lot of Ask SRK sessions that he does on social media,
Hmm.
uh, he himself said that it took him almost 30 years to become an action hero, and that's
Hmm.
what a lot of people loved him. All, the audience across his fans, and apart from his fans, other people also. liked him in Pathan and Jawan, and here he was coming back to, like you said, a role which he probably did in a Yes Boss or a Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na.
Hmm.
Uh, was there ever a discussion that we can just like kind of let 2023 be SRK the action hero and then just like kind of take it next year?
No, there was
Never.
never a discussion like that. I don't think anybody would think like that. In fact, every actor would want himself to be seen in different kind of
Yeah.
roles. Actually, that's what they want. And in fact, I think he was looking forward to this, that I've done 2 action films, so now this is a content-driven,
Hmm.
different kind of a film.
Hmm.
So he was very happy doing something like this. Though he was aware that somehow people are uh, trending towards watching. See, cinema changes, the viewers change post-COVID. The kind of cinema, if you see, which has worked is films like Pathan, Jawan, Gadar, Animal,
Yeah.
and so somewhere, uh, I don't know, it could be a wrong belief, but you start believing, okay, maybe the audience is wanting. So he was aware that uh, uh, this is what people are liking.
Hmm.
So ये कैसे react होगा वो so he had always told me, he says, don't expect those kind of numbers initially. This
Hmm.
is a slow burner, and eventually families will start coming. Families will, so be ready. He was actually preparing me for it more than anything
Right.
else, and that's exactly what is happening. It started now. Families have started coming, and families are watching.
Right.
So every film is different, and there's a different audience for it.
Right.
He's a very intelligent man, and I don't think he worried कि अब मैं action कर रहा हूँ तो continuously action ही करता जाऊँ और इसको बाद में
Uh,
करें. He never worried about that at all.
as a filmmaker, I mean, would we see Rajkumar Hirani making an action film at any point of time? Because I'll tell you why. I think the opening scene of Munna Bhai had a small gunshot sequence where Arshad Varsi is shooting a gun.
हाँ.
Then I think the only time a gun was used by Baman Irani in Lage Raho Munna Bhai, and that too just to celebrate the closure of a deal. And now we are seeing Shah Rukh Khan using a gun for the first time, probably in a like a longish action sequence in your film. We've never had to dabble with action, right?
But that's story driven.
Yeah,
When you make a, you can't do action for the heck of it. This is
yeah,
a story where these kind of incidents happen on the border,
yeah,
and when you cross borders, I have so many. In part of my research, how people are killed on the borders uh, by the security forces, or sometimes even by the on the way they meet, elements who.
yeah,
So this was a story need which made me do that, and so it's a story which will always drive you to do something.
yeah.
So even if I have to do an action film, it would be story driven.
Okay.
But I can't imagine myself, very honestly, where I step out thinking that I'm going to make an action film. I'm going to have a lot of fights, and that's a reason for it. No, it has to be a story. If the character has to
Hmm.
be aggressive,
Hmm.
violent in some way, then the story should demand that.
Right.
Yeah, my natural instinct is it doesn't go there actually. It doesn't
Hmm.
come natural to me that let's make an action film, make me happy. I get interested in more human stories, what happened to people, the little world they live in. So that's what excites me most of the time.
Right.
And I don't think one should change your natural instinct, because then you're trying to do something which you're not good at,
Hmm.
and that's a sure shot recipe for disaster.
That's
You should do what you want. Sometimes you'll get a bigger audience, sometimes you'll get a smaller audience, but
yeah,
at least you'll be true to the film and you won't feel that you cheated yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the characters that is really being appreciated is Vicky Kaushal's character. He had two cameos, one in Dunki, and then he played an extended role in Sanju, and both received immense appreciation.
Yeah.
Is there a plan to direct him as a protagonist? Has there ever been a conversation with Vicky on that, or does he
Yeah.
come and complain कि छोटा सा रोल लेके आ जाते चलो ठीक है कर लेते हैं? But
No, he was very sweet. I actually didn't even offer him this role.
अच्छा.
I didn't have offered. In fact, his father, Sham Kaushal ji, who's done the action for this film,
Hmm.
was with me, and he was hearing the script. तो स्क्रिप्ट सुनी, फिर कास्टिंग की, अच्छा किस किसको कास्ट किया है, तो मैंने कहा सब नए लोग कास्ट किए हैं,
Right.
एंड बल्ली बुग्गू सुखी, आई वांट न्यू पीपल टू डू इट. हाँ, तो बस इतनी कॉन्वर्सेशन हुई, और उस पर मैंने ऐसे ही कहा, मेरे मुंह से निकल गया होगा कहीं कि ये सुखी का रोल बड़ा अच्छा है,
Hmm.
एंड if Vicky was to do it, it'll be fantastic. But I very specifically said, but I won't ever offer him this role because now he's a, you know,
Yeah.
established hero doing main lead film. So I would never offer him. He also didn't say anything. It was a casual, very casual conversation. That
Right.
night I got a call from Vicky saying कि अरे आप ऐसा कैसे आपके माइंड में है कि ये कैरेक्टर मैं कर सकता हूँ और आप मुझे बता नहीं रहे हो मैं कर रहा हूँ वो रोल मैंने कहा
Right.
विकी तू हीरो है अभी तू नहीं करेगा ये छोटा रोल नहीं मैं कर रहा हूँ तो ही केम एंड एक्चुअली इट वाज वेरी स्वीट ऑफ हिम ही सेड आई एम डूइंग दिस
Hmm.
so but yes he's a fantastic actor and definitely want to work with him again in a lead
Right.
so yeah and I just hope I can make more films in a faster pace then I can work with so many other people I want to work with.
Is there a wish list that you can share?
You see, there are so many good actors around us here. You know, I've worked with some. There are
Hmm.
more people, but of course, it's finally the story which drives the casting.
Yeah.
But when I look around, I see films. I say, "Hey, yaar, you know, कितने अच्छा लोग काम कर रहे हैं." When you look at
Hmm.
Ranveer, you say, "Wow, great work he's doing." Look at Hrithik, his great work he's doing.
Yeah.
But you know, you can't really have a wish list and say, "Okay, I'm writing a script because this actor is good." You have to write a
Right.
script and then say, "Who's the perfect choice for that role?"
Right. Right. But has there, like you mentioned, who doesn't want to work with Shah Rukh Khan? Like, at the start of the conversation,
Hmm.
the same holds true for you also, sir. A lot of actors, when a lot of interviewers ask them, and Rajkumar Hirani is always there on the list. Um, what I want to ask you is, have you ever come across a script which is led by a female? Because obviously, roles by Tapsi in this one, or probably an Anushka, all of them have been phenomenal. Uh, but have you ever written a script or which has been led by a female? Has that ever been a thought?
I think the closest I've come is in Dunki, where it is
Yeah,
in a way Manu's story also,
yeah,
where it's her desire that she wants to build this home, and that's the reason she wants to go there. It begins with
yeah,
her, ends
yeah.
with her. So, and you know what happens? I always wonder where do the scripts come from? Actually, scripts come from whatever you've seen in life, uh, some things that inspire you, the kind of life you've lived, and or sometimes if you find a script which is a ready script. So naturally, obviously, it comes from the experiences I've had.
Hmm,
So I've never analyzed it, but a lot of time people tell me, your films are more about friends, about father-son relationships. So yes, I said I look back at my list. I said those are my experiences, which
sure.
have inspired me. My friends have inspired me. The kind of relationship I had with my father. Those are the things. So that comes naturally to me. So you start writing what comes naturally and what makes you feel, this will be interesting.
Hmm,
So I've very honestly never really uh, 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 thought of a script which is in a way uh, female driven as a protagonist. But if
hmm.
somebody was to give me a script, somebody's written a script which is coming from the experiences, and if I read it and it excites me, I would. There's no reason I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah,
But it doesn't come naturally to me. You know, we had made attempts. I remember even after Munna Bhai MBBS was made, uh, some people kept on saying ki, uh, it's very Munna Bhai, but there's a love story, and that didn't get uh, completely portrayed. Your female
hmm.
protagonist is weak in the film. So that was in my mind. And then while we were writing Lage Raho Munna Bhai, so Abhijat used to sit and we wrote such lovely scenes for Vidya, saying we have to make this story
Yeah,
strong. But
yeah,
whenever we used to, after writing the scene, when we used to read the whole script in totality, those are
yeah.
the scenes we would come and stop, saying, "Arey, yaar, it's popping out and it's not working. Isolation is working, but it's stopping the story here." Then
Right.
Abhijat broke it down. He said, "Look, it's a Munna Bhai film. So
Yeah,
please understand when you see a Chaplin film, you don't remember who the heroine is. So let's be true to the story and say this is the protagonist. Let's stick to the film. Anything we try to do unnaturally will just uh, uh,
yeah.
destroy the
It will
film. So you have to
look
be
like a
true
sore
to
thumb. Yeah,
the story and then let's see where
yeah,
it
yeah,
goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, because you're talking about Munna Bhai, has there ever been a conversation with Sanjay sir to collaborate beyond the Munna Bhai series? I know of people often ask you third कब आ रही है, third कब आ रही है, but कभी ऐसा conversation हुआ है where you're talking about collaborating beyond the Munna Bhai series?
Uh,
Has he seen
he,
the film? Has he seen Dunki?
no, he's not yet seen it. He was shooting in Hyderabad, I think. Then he's gone away, so he's not yet seen it. So he did a small role in PK, if you remember.
Yeah.
PK
Yeah.
did. So, but yeah, mostly conversation with Sanju is about Munna Bhai because he wants to do that film.
Yeah.
So mostly it's about Munna Bhai. But if I was to do something else, and I'm sure he'll be game to do it. In fact, he had some idea. The amount of when he was spending some time in the jail, so he had some story idea which he'd seen that life, and he in fact gave me a lot of anecdotes. He sent me some written pages. He says, this is a great story to do here. So once we sat working on it, and then eventually वर्क करते करते उसको भी हमने मुन्ना भाई बना दिया हमने धीरे धीरे यार ये भी मुन्ना भाई so somehow with Sanju it naturally goes in that direction, and also we had such a good time, Sanju, Arshad, Baman working on those films. So
Yeah.
If at all you want to go back to the same memories and create another film like that. But Kabhi, if there's something, obviously, a story which comes along, which I feel it's not a Munna Bhai, but it's Sanju will be very good with it. I'll be, absolutely happy to work with him.
Are you planning to take the long format route and direct a OTT? I know, I mean, there's you're producing one, like RHF is producing a series with Vikrant. I mean, Vikrant Masi in the lead. Any update on that? And personally, would you want to direct one? I mean, is there any plans to go to the long format?
Yeah, certain stories are, I think, meant for OTT because they're longer stories, more than 3 hours, and some stories are like that which can go on this format and not in a film. This thing. So this is the kind of a story which we found in the COVID time. So we worked on it, developed it, and so that we are starting soon. So I'm the showrunner on that, as in there's another person called Amit who's directing it.
Yeah.
And so I'll be involved with it. I'll be completely involved with it. So I'm kind of exploring. Let's see where it goes. And if someday there's a story, 100% one would love to. Because I think it doesn't matter where your stories are. Whatever format, that doesn't matter. You can, if it's for television, make it for television, make it for OTT, make it for films. And if it's a well-made thing, I think people will go there and watch it.
Right. Lastly, I'd like to ask, 20 years, is this where you had imagined you would be? I mean, how's the I mean, just back sitting at home on a dinner table with your family, is there ever a conversation about where you are right now and where you started? I mean, as a director, you started 20 years back.
Yeah.
You know,
No, the sheer gratitude towards life and whatever that forces are. But I'd never, I went to the film school from Nagpur, and towards the end one was to wonder कि यार यहाँ तो आ गए हैं, अब बॉम्बे में फिल्म बन पाएगी कि नहीं बन पाएगी, कैसे फिल्म बनाएगी, कैसे रीच आउट करेंगे एक्टरों के पास, कहाँ से प्रोड्यूसर मिलेगा, कौन मिलेगा. And I passed out as an editor, so I worked for many years as an editor. So always the dream was, and my only dream is to be, God, let me make one film. I've come to the city, let me make one film. वो अच्छी बन जाए, सबको अच्छी लग जाए, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
And that one film, that dream got over in 2003, and अच्छी बन गई film, लोगों को अच्छी लगी. So it continued. So now when I look back, I said I'm more than happy with my life that I've been able to make these many films, and there's been huge amount of appreciation. So it just genuinely, it's just sheer gratitude. I mean, I'm not in a rush to. You can fall in the trap कि अच्छा अब ये हो गया तो और कर लो, और अचीव कर लो, 10 चीजें और कर लो, ये भी कर लो. वो नहीं है. मुझे लगता है life has been kind. Just keep picking up stories which inspire you and keep making it without worrying about the repercussions, and make few but make good stories. The attempt should be that, make few but good stories. So I think that's going to be the approach even in the future.
Right. But that uncertainty that you had, and then the faith that Mr. Vinod Chopra put in you as a producer, did that also kind of encourage? And did you have a word with him? Has he seen the film?
Yeah, he saw
Can
that.
we see,
He had
can
heard
we
the script many times. He had heard the script many a
of
times,
Dunki?
and so we keep interacting. So even when he was making his film 12 Fail, I
Huh.
kept reading the script. I kept it. So we keep interacting and giving our point of views on it. So he saw Dunki much in advance at the editing stage, then also at the final stage. I showed it to him before that. So that journey continues. So we still keep meeting and keep
And we can see you all
discussing ideas.
collaborating in the future.
Yeah,
That's
hopefully
awesome.
so. Hopefully, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much on that note, sir. And Happy New Year, and thank you for giving us Dunki again.
Thank you so much, Sonil.